Recording. All right, so this is TeamInspired new coach training, brand new coach training. And what you're gonna see, the way this entire training is designed, is it's gonna be a lot of action items. So we are gonna do training, but I think one of the best ways to learn is just to jump in there and do. And I think for you, like being a coach barely even 2 weeks, you've already done a lot. And that really is the best way to learn. It's to just get out there, get on the bike, fall, mess up, and then you learn a lot from that. I get people that just want to learn everything right away, and they never actually take action. And it starts to feel like this business is not that fun because you're just learning, and you're not actually experiencing anything. So you're going to get a lot of action items in this training. And I'm going to give you the first one right now. So did you already get a brain book? Did Jen already tell you about like grabbing a coaching booklet?
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't got one yet, but she did tell me.
So now you have an action item, and everybody that's listening to this call later, by this Friday at 7 p.m. your time zone, post a picture on our coach training page of your book. You can get any size you like, whatever works for you. That's going to be your coaching book. And okay. I actually still have my first coaching book, like my very first training I ever did. The notes are in this book. No joke. I still have it. So this is your coaching booklet, and I want you to buy these these like little tab things.
Yep.
Buy some of those because we're going to use them.
Okay.
And optional is to get these colored pens because they're erasable pens. And they are awesome. We're going to use a lot of these when we're doing some of the work that we do, and it makes it a lot easier. So you see these
pens. Okay.
Yeah, the brand is Pilot.
Okay.
And so they're colored erasable pens, and then a highlighter. So grab all that good stuff. And
pretty sure I have half of that from nursing school.
Perfect. Oh yeah.
I just have to find when it's in.
Perfect. So post a picture. That's your first action item on our group page when you get your stuff. And then the very first part of coaching that I want to talk about is the 4 vital behaviors. And you might already know these, but I want to dive a little bit deeper into them.
Okay.
The 4 vital behaviors, as a brand new coach, as a coach that's been doing this 2 years, anytime in my business I feel like things aren't moving the way they should, anytime I feel like I'm maybe frustrated with something, I go back to these 4 vital behaviors. And I want you to think about that. Like anytime this business isn't feeling fabulous, go back to the 4 vital behaviors and ask yourself, which one of these can I do better? So the very first one is to invite. And I want you to think about the word invite, and it could mean invite, it could mean conversation, it could mean getting to know people. Sometimes invite scares people. And I want you to think about invite not just on Facebook or Instagram, but inviting means when you're talking to people, when you're hanging out with family, when you're hanging out with friends, sharing what you do. For me, it was a pivotal point for me as a coach. I was working in corporate America, and I remember like I would be out and about. I'll tell you one story. I was on a plane with my husband, and the guy that was sitting next to us said, "What do you do?" And it was the first time I felt brave enough to say I'm a health and fitness coach. And I hadn't said it before because I didn't know if I should. I'm like, am I really? Is that really who I am? Well, I want you to embrace that as a new coach. Like that is who you are, you know? So say it. That's another way of just inviting people. Because by the way, that guy on the plane did end up buying a challenge pack.
Oh, so, that is cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. He was great too. He had a great success story with all of it. And he's still a Shakeology customer of mine. So inviting means talking to people, have conversations, share what you do. And we'll talk more about inviting in a bit. The second vital behavior is proof the products work. So I'm recording this call, so I'm going to cover different types of people and different types of coaches. You, Janelle, specifically, I know you've got your workout routine down. I do recommend you check out some of the Beachbody ones and you see just kind of like what the style is. But it doesn't mean you can't continue to do your own thing. But for you, the big one's going to be Shakeology, drinking Shakeology every single day, taking note, like really trying to think about how different you feel, because you're probably going to notice a difference. Most people do, even really fit people. They do notice a difference in their energy levels and how they feel. But for everybody listening to this call, be proof the products work. So we have lots of products, you guys. We've got the training I saw prior to this. It was a top coach who did a training for her team. She was already like a major athlete when she came to Beachbody. So Beachbody didn't really help her get fit. But she talks about the other products that really helped her too. It was Shakeology. It was the pre-workout Energize, our recovery work, post-workout. So there's a lot of different products. You have to be proof the products work. You don't have to be proof all the products work. I do not use all the products. I don't use creatine. I don't use all of the post-workouts. I sometimes use one here and there. But you need to use some of the products and be proof that they have helped your life. Number 3 is personal development. And that is just 10 minutes a day. But what I want you to think about with personal development is try to make it a habit every single day. It's going to be more effective to do 10 minutes of personal development, and that's either like listening to a book on Audible, or reading a book, than trying to do like 2 hours once a week. You don't want to sit down, curl up on the couch with a book when you've got 2 hours and then not do it any other day. Because what I've noticed with personal development is if I can do it before I invite people, I am a lot more confident when I reach out to people. So I'm going to recommend that you pick a book. Okay, this is one of my favorites. It's called You Are a Badass.
I've heard of it.
It's such a good book. And I asked Jen earlier what she would recommend, and she said a sequel, well, not sequel, but like her second book, You Are a Badass at Making Money. And I do think both of those are great places to start. Especially when you're first doing those invites, because it gives you that, like, I don't really care what people think. I believe in what I'm doing, and I'm going to send those invites out. And it gives you that fuel. So that's a really good place to start.
Okay.
Don't confuse personal development with training, like business training, learning how to use social media, or all that stuff is great, but it's not there to help your mind. Personal development is to make us stronger. Personal development is so that when someone judges you, when someone lets you down, when someone ghosts you, you are strong enough to say, I can handle it. That's why you do personal development. It is not to necessarily train us on how to use a system or a process. It's just to make us stronger, and that's it. And it's amazing how much it works. Like, having bad days, it doesn't matter how successful you are. There are days that I have major doubt creeping into my head. And if I can get a piece of personal development at that moment, I can turn the whole day around. But if I keep trying to power through thinking I'm going to get better, it usually just gets worse. So I highly recommend having something you're always reading or listening to. Jen mentioned the app Audible, and I think that's great too. So it doesn't have to be reading. If you're taking your son on a walk, in a stroller, and you want to have something that you're listening to, that would work really well too.
Okay. Yeah, I like that idea too.
Yeah, sometimes I'll do that. I'll just put my headphones on and I'll like clean up around the house, or I'll go outside and I'll do Audible instead of a book. So they're both, either option works. To get something in there. Okay, so your second action item is you're going to put an email together that you're going to send me and Jen. And my email is, and everybody listening to this call later, it's zmunjy@gmail.com. And first thing that I want you to include in there is what your personal development choice is going to be. So whatever, it doesn't have to be these books. There's a lot of other options out there, but whatever it is that you choose, please include it. Okay, I am gonna, and then copy your own coach on that email. So email me and then make sure to copy, if I'm not your coach, make sure to copy your coach.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna share screen with you so you can see my computer screen. And that's not what we need. Okay, let's see if I could find this. Okay, The second assignment or action item that you have, I'm going to show you this Excel spreadsheet. Do you see this, Janelle?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So everybody listening to this later too, I'm going to post this on the coach page. And the assignment by Friday at 7 p.m. in that email is to include this list. It has 100 spots on it of everybody that you can think of. If you can't get to 100, that's okay, but I want you to really challenge yourself to try to get to 100. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I keep opening this up. I'm also going to give you this thing called a memory jogger, and this is going to help you think of people. Got like mom, dad, grandpa, children, uncles, nieces, and it tells you places you could look at, your Facebook, your LinkedIn. I have no idea what Plaxo is. If you were to do an invite list for your child's birthday party, your wedding invite list, holiday card list, these are some people to think about. It just helps you like try to think of who you know in this world. And your goal is to try to fill out that Excel sheet up to 100 people. I was talking to Jen about this earlier, and she also mentioned look through your phone contacts because you might be shocked how many people you know. So look through your phone, look through your Facebook, and try to get to 100 people on that list. That was one of the very first assignments I did in a coach training. And I remember when they said it on the training, I was actually kind of annoyed. I was like, oh my God, I have to write down 100 people. But it was amazing what that activity actually did for me, because in my mind, as I started to actually do it, and this is me, like I was annoyed, but I still will always do what I should do because I want to, you know, I like being a student. So even though I was annoyed, I still did it. And then as I was doing it, I remember I was like, oh my gosh, I should talk to so-and-so. And I remembered all these people that I had totally forgotten about. And so the activity is what's really important. So that's your second action item, is to come up with that list of 100 people. Action item number 3, Janelle, you've already done this, but I'm going to talk about it because I've got some people that are going to listen to this later that don't know this. So that's to announce yourself on social media. And your very first announcement does not have to be a huge deal. It doesn't have to be like your whole story. It can be something very simple, and I'm going to give you guys 3 different ways that you can introduce yourself depending on your background. Number 1 is if you just finished a challenge and you just became a coach, you can do an announcement, something to the extent of, I never thought I could actually stick to something, but here I am 21 days later and I'm feeling like $1 million, healthier and happier. Who wants to join me for the next round? Option number 2 would be somebody who just became a coach, but you don't have your own health and fitness journey yet. You haven't done anything yet, okay? That announcement is going to look like this. I'm about to start a journey to get healthier, fitter, get back into those skinny jeans, and I'd love your encouragement and support. Here I am holding myself accountable to all of you. And then option number 3 would be for somebody who already lives a very fit lifestyle and has decided to coach so they can help other people. And I think that's probably closer to you, Janelle, but you've already done your announcement. I'm still going to say it in case another coach can relate to that story. And that announcement would look something like this. The fitness lifestyle has been my jam for a while, but now I am ready to share my struggles and how I overcame them so I can help others. I've realized that by sharing my story, I can be an inspiration to other moms out there. So your announcement does not have to be a huge, huge announcement. It's just a couple of sentences, a couple of lines, and the goal is to get some likes and comments, and then you're going to learn in the next training what we're going to do with those likes and comments. That's all we're looking for, is just a few people to interact with your post, even if their goal is just to support you. They don't even have to say that they're interested. Okay, let's talk about inviting. So on that list of 100 that I told you to fill out, the first few people, like maybe your top 15 or 20 people, are going to be your dirt list. Those are the people who, if you were selling dirt, would probably support you just because they love you. Like there's no other reason, but they love you and they're going to support you. And that's going to be somebody like your mom or your dad or your grandma, who I think have already all supported you, right, Janelle?
Yes, definitely.
Exactly. So that's why you go to them. They're your dirt list. They love you. So everybody that is listening on the call, I will tell you guys, the 2 coaches that are on here today are both having some really fast rank advancements in their business, and they did it by starting with their dirt list. So start with this list. Even if you've been a coach for a while, if you have not tapped into your dirt list, go back and do it. And don't get stuck in your head thinking about what they're going to say. Like, oh my gosh, I already know what my mom's going to say. I already know what my sister's going to say. Don't worry about it, okay? I'm going to give you some word tracks, but you have to get over that. If it was your mom, for example, one of the ways that you could say it is, hey mom, I got involved with a business that I'm really excited about. I wanted to ask you to help me grow as a coach by being one of my first customers, or you could sign them up as a coach, but we'll talk about that later. Will you order my product and try it out for a month? Let me coach you and then give me honest feedback afterwards. If it's not for you, that's okay. I will never ask you to purchase from me again. Can I count on you to help me with this? How many moms are going to look at that and go, no, you can't count on me? Like, it's right? That kind of tugs at the heartstrings. Now, keep in mind, if your mom or dad or family member has a journey that you know about, right? Like they have a health and fitness goal, tap into that too, because they are going to get something out of this. They're not just helping you for your goals. There is something they are going to get out of this. Okay. Now, for those of you that are just starting your own health and fitness journey, and maybe you're not where you want to be yet, and you don't feel like you're ready to coach other people, because I get a lot of coaches that say, I'm not ready to coach other people. It doesn't mean you can't start building your business as a coach right away. What you want to do is reach out to those friends of yours and say something along the lines of, hey lady, I'm so excited about a health and fitness goal I'm working on. I'm part of a group that provides you everything you need to hit your goals, and I could use a buddy for sure. What do you think about joining me and we could do this together? So this is for someone who doesn't feel ready to coach, but wants to start helping other people and help yourself at the same time. Okay, so I gave you a couple action items, not too many. I think there's 3 total. It's just post a picture of your book, email what personal development you're going to do, and then email your list of 100 contacts. If I get that email from you by 7 p.m. your time zone, whatever your time zone is, then on Saturday, I am going to head over to the post office, and you are going to get a copy of our new coach training booklet. So let me pull that up for you guys and show you what you can expect. Okay, so these aren't quite in order, but I want to be able to show you exactly what this is going to look like. So the first thing you're going to get is a package like this, and it's going to be for 2018, and we're going to work on coming up with some goals for you. We're going to plan out the month of January, and then we're going to plan out every single day for an entire week what to expect. You are going to get a copy of the coach plan highlights, so you have a copy in your book to reference. You're going to get a whole list of do's and don'ts on social media. You're going to get training on how to build your diamond dream team, a step-by-step guide on how to sell a challenge pack, the 10 commandments for new coaches. You're going to get 10 copies. This is still not my updated one, but it looks kind of close to this. You're going to get 10 copies of this daily checklist that you can photocopy yourself and make more, but for 10 days you'll be able to complete that day by day. So it really simplifies exactly what to do every single day. And what's really cool about that is I'm going to give you guys an incentive to complete 10 days of that business tracker. 2 weeks worth, so 5 week 1 and 5 in week 2 during our training. And when you do, there's a little gift from me for anybody that sends a copy of all 10 completed. So you're going to get a little booklet. It's going to have 10 copies of that sheet of paper, and then it's going to have everything else I told you. including a little mini FAQ in there. So it's going to make it a lot easier for you guys to reference the things that you need. And there's also 2 checklists that you're going to want to go through to get started right away on coaching. The only thing I'm going to tell you guys is I'm going to invest in you if you invest in you. I don't want to invest in anybody who doesn't want to invest in themselves. So if you send me that email by Friday at 7 p.m., you are going to get your packet sent on Saturday. If I don't get that email, you're not going to get a packet. I can send you a digital copy though, and you can print it yourself. I don't mind sharing with everybody. I'm just not going to print it and send it. All right, my final piece before I stop recording, and then I'll open it up for, before I stop talking and I'll open up for questions, is I'm going to go back to what I said in the very beginning, which is don't get caught up in this training cycle. Also, don't let me determine how fast you go. If we have a training that we're doing and we're talking about certain expectations and topics, and I'm telling you to do this, but you want to run faster and you want to do things at your speed, do it. Don't hold back. Chances are you are going to learn, you're going to make some mistakes, but you're probably going to end up succeeding. And I don't want to hold anybody back because of training. So if there's something that you see a top coach do, or you see maybe Jen do, or I do, or Kristen, or one of the coaches that's been doing this for a while on the team, and you're thinking, oh, I wish I knew how to do that, then just do it. Learn how to do it. Don't wait for a training to teach you. Google it, explore, take initiative, and figure it out. A lot of this business was me on Google, trying to see what other people were doing. And there was a lot of frustration involved, but I also think it taught me so much. All right, Janelle, since you're the only one on the call live, what now?
Questions, right?
Yeah, whatever you feel like, you want some help with right now.
Jen's been incredible in answering and keeping up with me and checking in with me. So I guess I just feel a little bit like nervous about like the first challenge group. Like I have no idea what all is involved in that. Like I'm excited, but I'm also like, do I need to know a lot before I do one?
You have a few girls joining the challenge group, right?
Yes.
Okay. It's really, the cool thing about the challenge group, there's always new people joining. So we add you to the challenge group a few days before it starts. And then we kind of treat everybody as a newbie. So I'll have a video posted and it'll tell everybody what to expect. So you'll get like you'll just be walked through it from day one. And I don't feel like you're going to jump in and be like, oh my gosh, what's happening in here? You'll pick it up pretty quickly. Overall, as a coach though, what I want you to know, what's most important in the challenge group is try to keep your people engaged, right? Like, so if you have girls that you're adding to the challenge group, honestly, it's not who works out the hardest, who does the best. It's not the person who eats like perfect. I mean, we do want to follow the plan, and I'm going to be pretty strict about it this round. Because I know it's the holidays and everybody is going to have a lot of temptation and we just can't have a lot of wiggle room. But with that said, the people who show up every day and like check in and they're sharing their stories, they're sharing their food, they're the people who see results. So if you have a friend who you add to the group and they're not active, that's the person you're going to want to private message and just say, hey, you're in the challenge group. I want to make sure that you feel comfortable sharing and participating.
Okay.
Yeah. But other than that, I think you're going to be fine. Because like I said, I add everybody to the group 3 or 4 days early and kind of prep everybody together for it.
Okay. That sounds good. I can't really think of any other questions at the moment.
I know. I feel like you've done so much training with Jen and you guys have dived in really well. I love the way you just keep doing what you're doing.
Okay.
Add the personal development in, because that will help too, especially on some days. Like there's days where I'm like, I need more than 10 minutes. I need like 30 minutes today. Or I need like 10 in the morning and 10 in the afternoon because someone's driving me crazy. And then there's days where I'm like, I don't need it, but you still want to do it. The days when you feel really strong, you still want to do it. And then other than that, just keep doing what you're doing. You have an awesome leader.
Yes, for sure. She's awesome.
Thanks. You guys are going to wake up to some good news tomorrow.
And she just happens to be my cousin.
Which makes it even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have a pretty good family thing going on.
Yeah, we're going to get them all whipped into shape.
Yes. It's taken some work, but we're going to do it.
We are.
This is so cute. All right, guys, I'm going to stop recording.